You need to be honest. Why do you want to be in a relationship? Why? Is it because do you want to be with him because you're lonely, you need validation, or you're scared to be alone? I'm 29 years old. I've never even had my first kiss with a guy, and I'm waiting till marriage. A lot of the times in my life that I wanted a relationship, it was coming from a lonely place. I didn't really have anywhere I could grab from because relationships that I knew was at school, like my peers. I didn't have a positive example of what a relationship, a marriage is supposed to look like in my real life because no one was really pursuing God like that around me, and I didn't have any good examples. But I think nowadays there's such a distrust in people. Like, men are starting to hate women. Women, of course, with the whole hating men movement. It's really sad. People don't want to get emotionally intimate anymore. People are okay with like sleeping with each other and nothing more. And there's a lot of lonely people walking around. But I can say the times that I was really thirsty for a relationship, the times in my life that I was very, very thirsty for a relationship, I was very lonely. I didn't know myself. I didn't want to face what I was looking at. I didn't want to face the problems in my life. This goes with a friendship too. Like, we want human connection. We want that experience. But if you are not whole in yourself, if you're not doing the emotional work, working on your emotional maturity, what do you think a relationship is? A relationship is a mirror. It reflects you. And ultimately, the goal is marriage. And this society and this generation, it's like most people don't even believe in marriage anymore. And it's really sad because there's so many people getting betrayed in relationships, and then they go to a place where they just turn into a villain. And then the next person that they get into a relationship with, or a situationship, or something silly like that, they end up really hurting the person because they're so hurt and they didn't do any of the work. I think the root of you being so thirsty for a relationship, you wanting connection so bad, and there's nothing wrong with wanting connection. There's nothing wrong with, it's cold outside, everybody's cuffed up, everyone's in a relationship. I have a lot of love to give. I want that. That is so normal. That is so normal, and you're not alone in that. But you have to work on yourself. You have to work on that emotional stability. You have to learn how to regulate your emotions, because if you get married to this person and you have to live with this person day in and day out, they're going to annoy you. You are going to hurt them. They're going to hurt you. You need to navigate through that. And as a Christian, I believe that Jesus Christ needs to be the foundation of the relationship. Although it's hard because I have fallen for unbelievers, and I'm still trying to navigate that. But I think ultimately a successful relationship, a successful marriage has Jesus at the center. That people, we are so flawed, okay? We are happy one minute, sad the next. Like, our emotions go up and down, and when you're dealing with another human being, it's a lot. So you rushing in, and I've done this too, you rushing into trying to be in a relationship or entertaining something because you feel lonely on the inside, it's not going to help you. It's not going to do what you think it's going to do. It's not going to set you free at all, because what you're looking for is temporary comfort. And that is not going to help you. A lot of us have vices, okay? Some people might be addicted to smoking, corn, or OF, or whatever it is, alcohol, whatever. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we have like a hole in our heart, and we have soul care issues. Like, we have emotional wounds that we haven't dealt with. So those are our vices. Whenever someone has an addiction, it's not about the addiction. It's about, the addiction is literally the symptom. It's the emotional wounds that we refuse to work on. Because I do know a couple people in my personal life that they didn't work on any of the emotional wounds. And because of that, unfortunately, they're alone now. And unless they change and they want to do better for themselves, they're going to stay alone. You shouldn't ask yourself, like, the question isn't, why am I so thirsty for a relationship? The question is, why am I avoiding working on myself, working on healing those emotional wounds? Why am I trying to run away? Because that is the first thing that's going to come up in a relationship, those emotional wounds, that emotional immaturity that you have. Those triggers. The only way that you can really get through that is by getting through that. For emotional maturity, there's literally, you have to sit and do the work day in and day out. And it's not a process that's fun. In the moment, it's not a process that's fun, but there's something that's going to come out of it that is amazing. And that is a new you, a stronger emotional you, a more mature you. And then you can make space for that person. Now, I'm not saying, because there's always an exception to a rule. There could be someone that comes into your life. The Lord may send them in your life and you can heal that way. But like I said, that's an exception to the rule, not the rule. As humans, it's our responsibility to do the emotional work, the physical work, all of that work to be better than we were yesterday. And hey, maybe you messed up. Maybe today was a day where you really saw a victory in your healing process. And then tomorrow and the next week, you're actually worse off than you were when you started healing. That's okay. Because healing is non-linear. You'll have days where it's really high and you'll have days where it's really low. You have to make sure though that you are consistent in your transparency, in your authenticity and accountability, and being introspective, which is looking inward. When you look inward and you really start to identify, why did I do that? Why do I feel like this? Really listening to your emotions and listening to like how your soul feels, and seeking God, journaling, praying to Jesus, all those things really help. I'm not really asking you, why are you so thirsty for a relationship? I'm asking you, why are you avoiding your emotional wounds? Why are you avoiding healing your emotional wounds? If you're thirsty for a relationship and you're beasting to get into one and you're beasting for this person, been there. There's something deeper. So I hope that you know that you will get through this. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Thank you for watching my channel, Ashley on Repeat. I have a playlist, the Good Girl Boundary series. I want to tell you to give yourself grace and that you will be okay. We need to hear that. We're so encouraging to others, but we need to be just as encouraging, if not more, to ourselves. Until next time.